Hey everyone, this is Brad Berzer. I want to thank you all so much for the support that you've given me and this YouTube channel. We now have over 300 subscribers, and in addition to that, there have been over 6,000 views. I think that's the best way of putting it, of these videos. And considering that this channel didn't really start until January of this year, that's amazing, especially since it's May 1st right now. And happy May Day, by the way. This in my childhood was always a huge day where we collected flowers when I was at Catholic school, and at some way, in some level, as a child, it was a had to, but had the privilege of putting flowers at the feet of our statues of Mary. So always a big deal for me, and we would send cards to one another as well on May Day. I'm sure there's something quite pagan in that, but whatever it is, just saying May Day still gets me kind of excited, even at age 52. But my purpose in this video is to talk just a little bit about what we might mean by the end of things. And I've been absolutely fascinated for all of my life with the idea that we could in some way be at the end of life or in an apocalypse of in some way, in some shape or form. Whether that's true or not, of course, is a huge question. And yet when we look at the New Testament, we find that throughout the history of Christianity, the narrative has always been that we are in the last days. But the apostles who knew Jesus, that is the 12 under Jesus, believed it was the last days. And here we are now 2,000 years later, and that's a long time for the last days. So one of the things that I've had the privilege of doing over the last week is just to ask people on Twitter and Facebook, how much has there been an uptick in an understanding of, are these the last days or are they not? And if they are the last days, why? Because of the coronavirus, because of other things going on, or is the coronavirus a harbinger, some kind of advanced witness and guard for the last days? Is it a preparation for the last days? And one of my close friends and a former student, Father Anthony Cook, decided to read all of the Ballad of the White Horse for quarantine, and I very much enjoy listening to Father Anthony read. He was an excellent student, and as far as I can tell, he's an even greater priest and man, and I appreciate him very much. And I wanted to read just a little bit from one of my favorite passages dealing with the end and whether or not this is the end. And this is from G.K. Chesterton, from his epic poem, The Ballad of the White Horse. So, chapter 1, The Vision of the King. Before the gods that made the gods had seen their sunrise pass, the white horse of the White Horse Vale was cut out of the grass. Before the gods that made the gods had drunk at dawn their fill, the white horse of the White Horse Vale was hoary on the hill. Age beyond age on British land, eons on eons gone, was peace and war in western hills, and the white horse looked on. For the white horse knew England when there was none to know. He saw the first oar break or bend. He saw heaven fall and the world end. Oh God, how long ago! For the end of the world was long ago, and all we dwell today as children of some second birth, like a strange people left on earth after a judgment day. For the end of the world was long ago, when the ends of the world waxed free, when Rome was sunk in a waste of slaves, and the sun drowned in the sea. When Caesar's sun fell out of the sky, and whoso hearkened right could only hear the plunging of the nations in the night. When the ends of the earth came marching in to torch and crescent gleam, and the roads of the world that lead to Rome were filled with faces that moved like foam, like faces in a dream, and men rode out of the eastern lands, broad river and burning plain, trees that are Titan flowers to see, and tiger skies stripped horribly with tents of tropic rain, where ends enameled pinks arise around the inmost one, where ancient eagles on its brink, vast as archangels, gather and drink. the sacrament of the Son. I love that, and the way Chesterton wrote that, and the way that he describes it. And so I want to offer just two thoughts on this. And they're just the thoughts of Brad. I mean, there's nothing profound in these thoughts. But as I look around on the websites, and I look on YouTube, and I look at lots and lots of people claiming we're in the last days, and this is not just limited to evangelicals or fundamentalists within Protestantism. This is happening as well within Catholicism. I've seen a Canadian priest who actually looks like he's a great guy, but he's been talking about a prophecy, a private prophecy that was received quite a while ago, but he buys into, and that is that we're going to have 3 days of darkness. So I don't want this to seem as though this is purely something about Protestantism. It's clearly something in Catholicism as well. And when we think about everything that has been said at Medjugorje and elsewhere, there's a lot of kind of hype within the Catholic Church about these ideas of the last days. Are these true? I have no idea, and I'm not here to debunk them, only to say that so far every prediction of the end of the earth has been wrong. None of them have been accurate. And the second point I want to make is this. Let's say that the end of the earth is next week, or let's say it's in 2 days, or let's say it's a month from now. Does it really change our ethics or our morality? Absolutely not. The kinds of things that we should do today, even if the end of the earth were 2,000 years from now, as opposed to 2 days from now, are no different. We are to behave as Christian women and men. We are to behave as people who are of the incarnation, of the sacraments. We are to be people who are holy and act as good and as holy as possible, despite all of the failings with our original sin and all the sins and corruption that we put upon ourselves. That does not change. It will not change. It cannot change. We should always be prepared for Christ coming, like we prepare for a thief in the night. So, those are my 2 points. One, every prediction of the end of the earth has been wrong so far. I think Chesterton's right. This idea of the end is a much longer, much deeper, much greater thing than the drama that many of us would love for it to be. But my second point is this. Our behavior, our morality, our ethics, our Christianity does not in any way change because the world may end in 5 minutes or in 5,000 years. Those laws, those rules, those teachings of Christ remain eternal. They are as true yesterday as today as tomorrow. And for what words of wisdom those might be, I don't know. Here I am in my flannel shirt sitting in my office. I have barely even combed my hair this morning, but I am enjoying my coffee. And I thought, well, let's have a little celebration for everything that's gone right with this YouTube channel. Thank you for everything. And I thought I'd give you just a few cents. And if nothing else, you got to hear some G.K. Chesterton. How cool was that? All right, everybody. Until the next podcast, God bless.